There's definitely some level of gender euphoria that comes from having a chipped nail. Because it's so, like, you think of femininity being like putting on dresses and like do your nails and look all pretty and whatnot, but like it's casual femininity, the everyday shit where I'm just like I'm living my life as a girl, where it's just like yeah I feel comfortable in this. Where it's just like after a few days, like every girl has nail polish that gets chipped off. That's just how it goes.
The Fallen.
That stuff you you don't think about it before you start transitioning. And I wonder how many cis people think about the casual little ways in which their gender manifests. Now, of course, that is not to say that I am a woman. I am not a woman. I am explicit about that. Girl is an acceptable term. Ha ha ha! Stole the servitor's skin. Because that worked. Still haven't really found the word for myself yet. Lately, I've found myself been using void. I'm a void. Because, non-binary is weird, y'all. Like, speaking as a non-binary person, not someone looking from the outside being like, non-binary people are so strange, like, can't they just make a decision? Like, when you're actually living in it, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Because society gives you nothing. When you're binary trans, which I did identify as for a while, you get a real good sense of like, I was this, and now I'm the opposite. Like, I can just be like there's so many examples from cis people of what being a woman is like, so you identify with that. But if you're non-binary, all you have to look up to and kind of base things off of to understand yourself is other non-binary people. And then even further with that, other non-binary people might not be the same as you. In fact, they're probably not. There's a lot of like I do not identify as androgyny at all. I am very feminine. That's like I am completely in this like rather than being binary. If you had to devolve it into two poles or into two directions, I would be completely on the female side of the spectrum. That's not how I really think about it in my own head. It's just, simplest way to put it. But other non-binary people can be anywhere else, or not even on the spectrum, just not binary.
Let's find the shrine.
Because there's a lot more things you cannot be than certain things that you can be, if that makes any sense. So the way I've thought about it as a Taoist is my gender falls squarely within yin, which is considered to be the feminine side of yin and yang. It's the dark side, it's the evolving side, whereas like yang is creating and yin is changing.
Want to know what they're keeping down there.
So it's like my gender is somewhere in there, and woman is also in there, in that terms when you're thinking of it in the dualist terms. But my gender is not woman. It's something else like adjacent to that, and it's weird. That doesn't make sense to cis people ever. Like, and I don't expect it to. But it's been wild discovering that lately and coming out about it too, because it's one of those things that I wasn't keeping secret necessarily, but I wasn't open about that I am non-binary until very recently. I think that there was a thought, oh boy, there was a thought that I was trying to go for when I started that little spiel that I don't think I got to. But you know, that feels That feels like it describes my gender very well. It's a spiral, it's a void, it's a black hole, it's weirdness. Okay. This way. I gotta make the most of these non-darkness zone areas and get all the talking out that I can until I get to here. And now I'm gonna have to focus a little bit. So I'm glad that that's something that's interesting to hear about. And I'm way, like, you don't have to stay quiet in the chat while I'm talking about that kind of stuff, because like I'm interested to hear like what other people's experiences are. If anyone else, if that resonates with anyone else, if it's, or if it's just strange and you don't get it. It's all valid because we're all here exploring our genders together and our identities. But yeah, Void has been, and it's funny that one of my moderators' names is Void. Void has been one of the words for like, because I posted on Facebook the other day saying like, I kind of wish I had a word, like a noun, that I can refer to myself as. Like people can say, I am a woman. That's a noun. That's an identity and a noun, a category that you're in. Other non-binary people frequently say, I am an envy. I don't like envy. It doesn't fit me. And I actually, and I don't know what exactly it is about it. Part of it is just, I don't really, it sounds weird to me, like when it's describing me. Plus, oops, too many people hear that and think it sounds like it's saying in between, like it's short for, I'm an envy, I'm in between. Which is explicitly not what my non-binary identity is. So I don't want that confusion to even be a factor. So then, like, there's not another, the closest and most accurate thing that I can say. Like, it requires multiple words. Oh God, I need to, yeah. It requires multiple words to say. So I have to say I'm a non-binary person, or I'm a non-binary girl, or anything like that. I want one word that I can say like, this is what my gender is. And I don't know what that is. Which is why I've been playing around with Void lately. It's like, I'm a Void. And it's fun to say, it comes out really well. It feels close. Feels closer than anything I have gotten. And I've heard a lot of things about like being gender void is a thing, which I'm not sure if that, oh boy, I'm not sure if that describes me, because I'm not agender. I'm definitely gendered in some way, in a feminine way, in a non-binary way. So if, oh boy, if void implies a lack of gender, then that's not an accurate word for me. And yeah, I don't know. That's just like, those are the thoughts that you have to have when you're non-binary, because you're basically mostly in it alone with figuring this kind of thing out.
There's the shrine. Find a way through.
When I put that Facebook post out there, people came in with things like, oh, so would a genderqueer be a good noun? I'm like, no, that's still like, that's a compound weirdness. It's not a, and then, or gender fucky, stuff like that. And like, no one had a suggestion for a simple word that's not just mashing two words together, that also includes intense femininity. Like there's nothing like that in English that I've found. So on that note, I recently I was recently introduced to Tokipona, or Tokipona. I think I'm saying that right. And it's a crafted language. It's a lot like Esperanto, where it was designed with certain linguistic stuff in mind, and it's based on Taoist philosophy. It cuts down on all unnecessary things. I think it has like 120 words total in the whole language. It's all just based on that. And as such, because it's cutting down on unnecessary things, it also cuts down on gender. And by that, I mean it has no gender whatsoever. There are ways that you can specify that person is woman, like is a woman. But in terms of pronouns and whatnot, it's just Ona. Ona is the only pronoun. And I love that. And it feels good to me because it's oh boy. Stuff that ends with A's, like Mara and whatnot, that feels in line with my gender. I found other neo-pronouns and whatnot that never really felt like they fit, because they, like with they, them, saying them like really quick in a sentence feels like the M sound at the end of the word is too reminiscent of him to me. And so they, them can be used for me plurally for different reasons that I will talk about another time. But I could never use it singularly for myself. And then other neopronouns had the same problem, or would just be too short or like not indicative enough of a gender. But Ona, because it can mean anything, and just like it's musical on the tongue, feels real good. But it doesn't plug into English very well, because like she and hers, she, her, and hers all would just be Ona. There's no conjugation or anything there. So that's why I need to keep drinking water if I'm talking this much. That's why I'm really excited to be learning Tokipona. Because if I can find people I can just speak that language with, like in Discord or whatever, and we just go into voice chat and we just have conversations in Tokipona, then, oh boy, this is gonna be rough. Then I can basically just strip gender from my conversations and have, and still be gendered, because I am still gendered. I still have whatever my gender is that I can't describe in English. And I can have conversations in Tokipona that includes that, because Ona is all-encompassing. Oh boy. And that's just, it's so cool to me. I love linguistics. It's definitely something I would study if I went back to college. Oh boy. Sardok. Oh boy. Sardok's good. Like, it's probably, that's one of the reasons I like Destiny a lot as well. Is because there's a lot of linguistics that go into this game. Like all the Hive have very distinct Sardok, Oryx, Crota, like really punchy names that just, it feels like it's saying something on the tongue. Oh god, I don't want to deal with a wizard. Hi. That could have gone poorly. And then the Elixni are all, it's very like, you get a lot of like that sound, which I really love. And the Vex are all just, they're kind of a different thing. They're kind of still in English. Mithrax. Get a lot of the X sounds, and I guess that also applies to the Hive. K's and X sounds are just my favorite. They feel so good on the tongue. Exploring the way that languages feel coming out of the mouth is always really, it's fascinating to me. And I need to focus this guy down a little bit harder. Keep staggering, keep staggering. There we go. Oh, hi. Mithrax. So I, even though in the Discord I've kind of gone away from Destiny theming, just because I want to branch out a little bit, even though Destiny's my main thing. Making Me6 be Me6 like a servitor, that was really fun for me. I love that shit. Multilingual puns, basically. Samantha is a beautiful name, and don't you dare talk shit on yourself like that. Because that's actually, so with like Samantha, that's something I kind of am kicking myself with picking my name, Mara, is there's not really a good way to shorten that into a cute nickname. Like you can say Sam, or Sammy. Like there's lots of different ways for nicknaming with Samantha. Mara is Mara, pretty much no matter how you look at it. That's why I'm glad I'm Mara Jin, because MJ is really cute. Okay, let's finish him off. Bam!
It's weakened. Destroy it.
Breaking his record player. 3-dimensional record. Level 11.
We severed their connection. The shrine, it was communing with something out there. Their god or king.
Whoa.
Well, not anymore. Whatever it is, it's still out there.
Won't be for long, because I'm the God Slayer. We're gonna kill Oryx. Okay, I'm gonna call this another break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes for another episode. That was a really cool episode. I really enjoyed talking about that. I don't normally feel like I'm able to get on a really long thought, and that felt good, sharing that with y'all. So, I'll be back in a minute, and see y'all in a sec.